Time to pull up a chair. We've got another great story for you today in the rLounge. Sometimes we don't want to hurt people's feelings and do things we don't want to do or allow people to treat us certain ways. Today in the rLounge, you don't have to be a doormat to be good. Even good people are allowed to say no. Up first, a sister-in-law cries to get whatever she wants. My sister-in-law stole 2,000 euros from my husband and I and called us cruel and selfish for wanting it back. This story takes place in a major city in Germany. My sister-in-law, 55, and her lazy butt husband, 57, are constantly broke and keep on whining about it. For more than 10 years, they have been coming crawling to family with sob stories and expecting their bills to be paid. Their family debts are already in the six figures. My sister-in-law is a physiotherapist and her husband is someone who, because of his skin color and age, thinks he doesn't have to apply for a job because he wouldn't get one anyway. When asked why she or her husband wouldn't work, my sister-in-law always replies that she has back pain and her husband has bad knees, is over 50 and black, and there are no jobs for them. Which is absolutely not true, as I was personally working a job agency at the time and suggested lots of suitable jobs to him, which he didn't apply for because the hourly wage of 20 euros an hour was supposedly too low. Since this resulted in a full-time monthly salary of 3,200 euros before tax, there was no argument for getting up from the couch for him. Well, it's summer. My sister-in-law's birthday is coming up. We're having a family barbecue together. My sister-in-law calls us all together and makes a speech. She would like to buy a car and wants 8,000 euros for it, and then another 3,000 euros for a luxury electric massage mat. The money would also be paid back this time. We ask her why she needs a car and how she would pay for the maintenance, taxes, gas, and repair costs for the car. My entitled sister-in-law: "My husband is American and he doesn't want to travel by public transportation and is used to driving. And my husband needs the car to visit his friends, as traveling by public transport was unbearable for him and he doesn't feel comfortable." In response to the further question of how they were going to finance the car outside of the purchase costs without money and jobs, my sister-in-law got snippy and started insulting us all. We were all mean to her and just wanted to put her down with our questions and show her that she was less than us and that she had offered to pay the money back. It ends with my entitled sister-in-law bursting into tears and running into the house. Since I had to go into the house myself, I don't hear my sister-in-law crying, as I expected, but talking on the phone to her husband, who wasn't at the barbecue. I can hear my sister-in-law complaining to him that all of us are tormenting her, patronizing her, and talking down to her. My sister-in-law comes back into the garden with a smug smile, puts her phone on speaker, and holds it out to us. My brother-in-law yells, "Just watch it. I'm going to F you all up, you a-holes. Just talk crap about me behind my back and make my wife cry. I hate you all. You all suck and I'll F you up." My sister-in-law is there the whole time with a satisfied grin. A while later, it's my sister-in-law's birthday, and we, the doormats we were back then, want to fulfill my sister-in-law's heart's desires, a car, by giving her a car, sharing a deal of 100 euros. Of course, no good deed goes unpunished. We give her the 100 euro deposit, which she can then use. It's in her name and only she is insured. We explain everything to her. She understands and agrees to abide by the contract. She also promises that she will pay the cost incurred from her account once the 100 euros have been debited. Everything is fine. Of course, my sister-in-law lied and didn't change the account details and of course let her deadbeat husband drive. Within a few months, the bill was amounting to 2,000 euros. When I noticed this gap in our account, I immediately canceled access to our account and confronted my sister-in-law. She ignores me, didn't respond to calls, texts, or emails, but complains to my husband, her brother, about me. That his mean and nasty wife, who doesn't begrudge them, the poor people, the car, piece of crap sister-in-law, "I haven't been able to sleep for 3 nights because your wife, dear brother, wants her money back. That's so outrageous." Her piece of crap husband replies to my email a few weeks later and calls me a B-word and a witch, that he's going to beat me up, so that I finally shut up and stop nagging him and his wife about money. I apparently also need therapeutic help because I've gone crazy. He keeps threatening me that I'll soon get a few punches if I don't finally shut up. It goes so far that this aggressor a-hole turns up outside our house and tries to intercept and intimidate me, so I stay quiet. Did I mention that this piece of crap has already had several charges in court cases for violent confrontations? I report him to the police, only to have the rest of the family against me, berating me as to why I would mess with him. Don't poke the bear. I'm told that I'm to blame for the whole mess and that me and my husband have enough money and should let the poor relative have it. My mother-in-law even goes so far so that she would go begging from the family so that we greedy people would get our money back. so that we would finally stop annoying everyone. Of course, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law don't pay anything back, nor do they apologize. Nothing. They're smearing campaigning us full throttle. My husband's family roll their eyes at me when I bring up the subject and keep on telling me that it's my own fault and that I overreacted with my complaint. I'm even told that my reaction was extremely over the top and that I'm the a-hole. Rebuke from the family-in-law from left to right, above and below. It ends with my sister-in-law and brother-in-law turning up at my father-in-law's birthday party a couple of months later and making a scene, saying that they are mistreated and bullied in the family and that we would all soon see where that would lead to. Again, the famous threats from my piece of crap brother-in-law. My brother-in-law attacks all the men in the family at this event and threatens to hit them and tries to provoke my husband in particular to get into a fight with him. My piece of crap brother-in-law has no success with this. My piece of crap brother-in-law is such a sucker that he only pushes my other brother-in-law's wife to the floor because he doesn't dare to approach men. Such a loser. Meanwhile, my sister-in-law shouts at me that I can be held personally responsible for the fact that the family is now destroyed and everything is in shambles. She mockingly asks me if I am proud of my destructive work. My brother-in-law storms up to me shortly afterwards and shouts that he would do anything to protect his family and will smash my face in. I call the police. When the police siren is heard, brother-in-law and sister-in-law flee the scene. Meanwhile, after 3 long years, we got the money back from my mother-in-law, as she had condescendingly offered to go begging so that we would stop nagging about the money. She was grumbling, kicking and screaming, but we now have the stolen money back from her. She saved her grown-up, unreliable daughter's butt. My thieving sister-in-law recently came scratching at our door again to announce that she had severe depression because of the way we had treated her. I wonder, could it be rather that she has a crappy, lazy husband who's on her back and picks fights with everyone he meets? Apparently, there was so much negativity coming from me personally that she needed to go to a special clinic to get treatment for her depression. I told her to get lost and that she should tell her sob stories to someone else. My husband also told her that he no longer had time for her. I can understand that the family-in-law felt it was ridiculous and not worth mentioning that we had been robbed of 2,000 euros. Previously, my sister-in-law had stolen a whopping 20,000 euros from her own daughter. It was her daughter's college fund. When the daughter asked her mother where the money was, she just shrugged her shoulders and said, "I had bills to pay." I'm now in full no contact with the in-laws. My husband is very low contact. I'm finally free of those pests. Unfortunately, I have to say that my husband's family, with the exception of him, are rubbish. They cover up intra-family thefts, tolerate verbal, physical, and emotional violence, and practice perpetrator-victim reversal. I will never sit down at the same table with them ever again. You're right to never speak to them again. All of them sound delusional, and they're all enabling their own disgusting behavior. At the same time, it's a huge mistake to step in and help them with that to begin with, because you knew what they were capable of due to their past. You sort of walked right into that by giving them your account details and then expecting her to actually pay you back, when you already knew she wouldn't. That's why they specifically say, don't share account information with anyone. In a way, you sort of did poke the bear. You gave the bear raw meat and then tried to take it back from it, mid-feed. What would you have done? Next up, a stepmom who will never see another holiday greeting. Dad's entitled wife feels she should be addressed in cards I send him. Long story. I refuse to call my dad's wife stepmom because she does not deserve the title. Backstory. In the early to mid-90s, around when I was 13 and my brother was 15, we traveled from our home state to my dad's current state to spend the summer with him and meet his wife for the first time. We didn't have much of a relationship with our dad. He was largely absent in our lives, moving to his new state when I was 6. His wife turned out to be awful. She started out nice, but slowly became very mean, treating me like a slave and making me take care of her grandchildren the entire summer. Me and my brother were miserable. My mom ended up bringing us home because all she did was make us do chores. I didn't mind helping, but I did all of it. And I started my period, and she said she was too busy to go get me pads. I had one in my carry-on bag, and we were close to going home, so I stuffed my underwear with toilet paper and saved the pad for the airplane ride. Fast forward, she dropped us at the doors to the airport, didn't even come in to check us in. Dad was at work. We get in there and find our connecting flight at our layover stop would be late, and we would be stranded at the airport. Brother called our mom from a payphone, and she called my dad's house, where his wife informed her that she knew this. The airport had called her, but she was too busy with her grandkids and didn't have the time to deal with us, and we would have to figure it out. I started crying and told my mom I would rather sleep in the airport than go back to their house anyways. A very nice couple and their children saw me crying and came over to help. They were on the same flight as us and had worked it out to get a flight to an airport 3 hours from our house. They helped us get on the same flight and stayed with us till they were able to hand us over to our mom and stepdad. Wonderful man. And they drove us home. I still have not totally forgiven my dad for not only letting her treat us like crap, but staying with her after she abandoned us at an airport when I was only 13 years old. But for my grandparents' sake, I have been civil with him. I will never speak to her again, though. I had the opportunity to tell her how I felt when she tried to friend me on Facebook, and that is the only time I have spoken to her in 31 years. I like to send greeting cards, and I would send some to my dad every once in a while. I always only addressed it to him. She got butthurt and complained to him about me not addressing her in the cards, and he in turn complained to my grandma, who complained to me. I said, fine, guess I'm not sending him cards, ever, again. And I haven't. I can't believe she feels so entitled and delusional as to think she should get cards from me after she abandoned me and my brother in an airport far from our home. Grandparents are both dead now, and I don't think I will ever see him again. He texts me from time to time, and I will answer it, but I do not go out of my way to speak to him. My stepdad walked me down the aisle, and my kids call him Grandpa. Now let's get a couple reactions from the community. First up, when I got married the first time, we did the whole big wedding thing. I invited my father and a guest. His wife was not happy about that. She was even less happy when she made the foolish mistake to call me about it. Sadly, the moron came to my wedding anyway. She was escorted off the premises. She was a lazy, spoiled freeloader, so much so her family had basically abandoned her. The next comment says, I have to kind of laugh that everyone is blaming the stepmom here, not taking into account that OP's dad allowed this behavior. OP, it may be that you have a horrible stepmom, but your dad is 50% responsible for letting her treat you this way. Why do we always give the dad a pass for this kind of behavior? He's a piece of work and doesn't deserve a card from you for his part of this crap situation. I think dads really need to take more responsibility for how their new spouses treat their children. I'm so sorry. That sounds like a very traumatic experience. And all you want to do is go home because of how you're treated, but then you find out you're stuck alone in an airport with your sibling. You have every right to feel the way you do about your father and your stepmom. She hasn't done anything to deserve your time of day or to deserve to be in your lives. And frankly, neither has your father. He definitely allowed her to treat his own kids like that. Have you had a similar experience? What do you think of your step-parents? Share it with us in the comments below. And thank you for following along today in the rLounge. Before you go, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you have something you want to share regarding today's content, we want to hear it. Until next time.